Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and today's tutorial we are working on our practice stitch for next week's shrug. Yay! Yes, we are starting next week. Very, very exciting. But in the meantime, we are going to practice this double crochet. Let me get you a nice close up. Double crochet treble. No, let me say that again. Treble cluster stitch. I can get this. Treble cluster V-stitch. So it's actually pretty much just a V-stitch using your treble, which is yarn over your hook twice and not once like a normal double. Using your treble, and we're doing the 3 trebles together as one. So it's a cluster. All right. So I think it's gorgeous. Look, is it easy? Well, the first row's not. It's a little bit, it's a little bit difficult. It's only because the yarn is fairly thin, and when we do our shrug, we will be using thin yarn. If you wanted to do your shrug with a thicker cotton, by all means, go ahead. Again, guys, this is not the shrug video. This is just a practice. So in the meantime, we're going to practice with this. You can practice with wool or acrylic or whatever you have in your stash, some scrap yarn that you have in your stash. And next week, we'll be doing the actual shrug itself. All right, what yarn did I use today? The same yarn we are going to use for our shrug, except I'm not using the pink. This is a gorgeous pinks. I mean, reds, pinks, maroons, gorgeous. It's called Sheepy's Whirl. If you don't get that in your country, all you need to do is replace it with a number 2 or a fairly thin yarn, all right? It's relatively thin, it's not a thick yarn because it's a summer shrug that we will be making. For the practice stitch, you can use any yarn you have in stock, but when we do our shrug, we will be using a very thin yarn. All right. Now this one here did call for, from memory, a size 3.5 hook, I think. You could use a 3.5 or a 4. Today I use the 4. So we will use the 4 today. I probably will use the 4 for the actual shrug itself when we're ready to do it. But that's it. You don't need anything else for this tutorial. Just grab yourself a hook, get yourself the matching yarn. Let's make our treble cluster V-stitch. Alrighty guys, let's get started, and I'm getting very excited because I know that once we learn this stitch, we can actually do our shrug. I know, very exciting. Yarn over your finger once and yarn over your finger twice, hold it there. Okay, tail end in front, let's pull it back a bit. Tail end in front, working yarn there. Pop your thread halfway over, hold it there. Pop the other one all the way over, and that is just a basic slip knot. All right, so now we're going to make our chains. The chain amounts that you need are a multiple of 3, and at the end of the row we add 7 chains on top of those 3s. So a chain is yarn over your hook once and twice. Don't do these chains too tight. And 3, okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. There's your multiple of 3. Okay, 3 5s are 15, yes? So now we're going to chain up 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, we are going to be doing our double V-stitch treble cluster set. I know it sounds like a lot, but it actually isn't that difficult. Think about it as a normal double crochet cluster set and just make it into a treble, if that makes any sense. Now the treble, we're doing yarn over your hook twice. So yarn over your hook twice, okay, before we start. Now we skip, there's a little chain in there that I've pulled really tightly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're popping our hook in the 7th stitch right there. Oh gosh, it's too far away, sorry guys. But pop your hook in your 7th stitch, yarn over your hook, pull up a loop. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2 loops, hold it there. Yarn over your hook twice again, popping it in the same space. Now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over your hook once and yarn over your hook twice. 3 loops on your hook. We're going to do it again. Pop it in the space, pull up your loop, yarn over your hook once, yarn over your hook twice. Tight there, sorry guys. Twice. Now you should have 4 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over your hook, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Okay? Chain, that is actually our first cluster set, yeah? Chaining 1 and 2. Yarn over your hook twice. You're going to do another one of those cluster sets in the same space. Okay? 2 and 2. Yarn over your hook twice. Back in there. 2 and 2. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'll bring that up again, nice and close again. Yarn over your hook twice, pop it in the space, pull up a loop, yarn over your hook, 2 and 2. So you should have 4 loops on your hook after you've done the 3. Okay, yarn over your hook, pull through all 4 loops on the hook. Just give your work a bit of a tug. See how that stretches up those spaces? We're going to do it again, but now we're going to be skipping. Well, here's our close-up. The first chain, which is right there. Second, they're very tight now because we've been pulling on this right here. So we're skipping 1, 2, and we're popping it in the 3rd chain, just the 1 loop of that 3rd chain. And you're going to do your cluster set with your 3. Remember your 3 of them. So that's your second one. Your 3 trebles together. Okay, and there's your 4. Yarn over your hook, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Bring that out again. Chain 1 and 2, yarn over your hook twice. We're going back into that space. So that's what you did before, your treble set there. Popping another triple set in there, or treble set in there I should say, not triple. Don't get too confused, Mary. Stop confusing everyone. All right, 2 over last one for the set. Okay, 2, and there's your 4 loops on your hook, and now you pull through all 4 loops on the hook. All right, so what you have so far is that. Okay, that is what you're wanting to get all the way across. You're skipping 2 and you're doing the exact same set all the way across. We're going to do it together because we don't have many stitches, so we can do it together. So we're skipping 1. There's one real tight one in there. 1, 2 and 3, and we are putting our treble cluster set there. 1, 2. Don't stress if your stitch is pulling at the moment. When we pull it, stretch it out later, it goes back into place. Okay, so you're pulling it through there. Oh, let me get a close up for you. That's why you can see what's going on. Chain 1 and 2, and yarn over your hook twice. 1. Oh, we're doing it in the same space. Get it right, Mary. Get it right, woman. 1. Oops. 2. Oh, I really detest working with thin yarn. But we are doing it, and we're going to be doing it with our shrug. 1 more. And 2. Okay, 4 loops on your hook. Pull it through, and you're going to do another one in your next one. So 1, 2, and pop into your 3rd with your treble. And your treble. Well, it's only a half treble really if you think about it, until we finish it off with the third one. One, two. Give it a bit of a tug there. Now do another treble set in the same space. Two. One more. In that same space. Two. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Easy to miss, just be wary, yeah? Okay. I won't call this a super easy pattern, but it's not completely difficult, and newbies, you can attempt this. If you're new to crochet, you can attempt this pattern. Okay, so you're chaining 1 and 2, 1, 2. Do your last triple in here, or triple of your trebles, if that makes any sense. One more. Getting all tangled up here. And the last one in there. 4 loops on your hook, pull it through there. All right, so we are at the end of the row. So it's 1, 2, and you are going to pop 1 treble only in that last stitch. So your treble, as you know, if you've been doing all along, is just your normal. Okay, it is yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. That's your normal treble. What you've been doing is a treble cluster set. All right. So just pull up a loop for us. You don't have to, I will. If you want, pull up your loop and do the same thing and give your work a gentle tug. And it does kind of fall into place. If you are using a larger hook, these things here, the spaces that you see right there, see that little tiny space right there? That's going to be huge. You're going to have like a real bubbled look there. Don't stress too much because we will be putting a border on our shrug when we are doing our shrug. Okay, now to do the next part. Okay, what we need to do to make our trebles at the end of each row, we literally have to chain up 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you, let me bring it out again so I can show you what I have to do. All right, then you literally turn your work like you're turning your page in a book. All right. Now, all you're doing is in, out, doing your normal cluster sets that you've done here. You are doing them inside that chain space that we made, the 2 chains from the previous round. So you are putting your yarn over your hook twice, pop it in the space, and start your cluster set like normal. 2, 3, and 4 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through all 4 loops, chain 1 and 2, and you're doing it again. Two, 2. Okay, that's fun. 1, 2, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through all 4 loops on your hook, and there's your double cluster set in that space. Now, all we're doing is jumping straight into your next space. You're actually missing these 2 cluster sets that are almost joined together, and you're jumping into every space with your double cluster sets. Treble, double cluster treble sets, if that makes any sense. It's a tricky stitch, isn't it? But once you get it, it's just a repetitive stitch. So you really shouldn't have any problems completing the rows. Oops, I split the yarn there. Oh dearie me. There we go. 1 and 2, and now we're doing a normal cluster set in there. 1, 2, 3, and 3. Whoa. 4 there, pull your loop through, and there you go. All right, jumping straight into there. Oops. And your third one. Yours truly almost forgets to do the third one. 1, 2. And we're doing another cluster set in there. 2. Right there. Just speeding it up a little bit, guys, to get through this row. And there you go. Now, we are almost at the end of the row. We have 2 more cluster sets left. Oh, I nearly did it. I keep doing it. Almost finishing off. And the reason is I've been doing a double one recently, just for practice. 1 and 2. But I found this one is a lot prettier. Tends to use a lot of yarn, I do admit. Whether I change my mind when we're doing our shrug is another story. Oh, I'm naughty like that, aren't I, guys? But this is, it's quite a pretty stitch, and I would use it again. Okay. All right, now we're going to jump into our next. Well, this is actually our last cluster set that we're doing here. Okay. Now chain 1 and 2. And do your last one in there. 1 and 2. And 3. 1 and 2. 4 loops on your hook. Pull it through there. Now what you have left here at the end of the row is your 3 cluster set there. That 1 cluster set was actually 3 of them together. And these chains. Now you need to put a normal treble in the top chain right there, the one that we did before. 1, 2. These are the 7 chains that we had before, okay? But we want one to go right on top, which is the top one right there, okay? So find your top chain right there, not the stitch, the chain, all right? And do yarn over your hook, pull through 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the next 2, yarn over your hook, pull through the last 2. Pull up a loop and have a look-see. Just give your work a gentle tug and there you go. All right, gorgeous. I know, I like. All right, I love. All right, so what we're going to do, I'll start you off with the next row and then you can head off on your own. Because this row right here that we just did is an exact repeat. And that's all you're doing. Chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work like you're turning the page in a book. Pop your double cluster set in there. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 2 in there, your normal double cluster set again, and 3, just get started onto that next one, and then you can head off on your own. Sound good? Sounds coolio. See, as you go along, it does get a little easier. I think the actual thread itself is really annoying because it's thin, but the pattern itself, 1, 2, is actually a great pattern, okay? 2 and 3. Whoops, no, 1 and 2. I'm going to stop it right there. All right, so what I want you to do is head off on your own. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, out of frame there. Head off on your own and continue on with your gorgeous little pattern. I love, love, love. All right, 2 are gorgeous. Giving it a good stretch. Now, if you crochet tightly, you can go up hook size. Personally, I think this is perfect like this. In fact, to be honest with you, I would have used a 3.5 hook instead for this particular thread because it's a fairly thin thread, which is so number 2 thread. So it does actually call for a 3.5 or 4mm hook. The yarn I used here today is the Sheepy's Whirl. All right, so there you go, guys. How gorgeous is that? Very thin yarn. This is the practice stitch for our shrug coming up next week. Get ready for it, guys, because it is definitely coming. Now that you know, have a bit of a practice with some thicker yarn if you like, or any yarn you like, and then come back to us and we will be ready to do our shrug. Yay, very exciting. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and do all those wonderful things that you guys do for me, and join us for Saturday's live to discuss the shrug. If you are joining us new, guys, we reached 6,000 subscribers last week and we are doing a giveaway for reaching 5,000 subscribers and a giveaway for reaching 6,000 subscribers. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as I say after every tutorial, ciao for now.